look at what anybody wore, so it's gonna be raw.
That's gonna make it even funnier then. Ooh, baby, I like it raw. Ooh, baby, I like it raw. Shimmy, shimmy, yo, shimmy, shimmy, yeah.
Hey, community, here's what's brewing today.
Matt Rogers, keep Jasmine's name out your mouth.
I got that Bali Internet.
And do you argue or do you disagree? So get your cups ready for Minority Report.
Hey, welcome to Minority Report. It is Auntie Pharrell.
It's Auntie Dawon.
And it's Auntie Jarrell. What's up, y'all? How y'all doing?
Doing good, boo. Doing good.
It's Monday.
Yes, it is Monday. It is Monday again. It always finds its way back around. Well, thankfully, it finds its way back around. It's
You're
alive
right.
and well.
You're right.
But it's the beginning of the week. And community, we're having maybe some Wi-Fi troubles for Dawon. So if he's in and out, and if it's a little crunchy, it's that Bali.
Lord.
Oop, we can't even.
Can't even hear it now. Damn.
So it might end up being a Rel and Rel episode. We'll see here. But the Wi-Fi kind of going in and out on him, and he's trying to do it from his phone. So he's trying to do his due diligence. We appreciate that, love.
Yeah. Oh my God, Rel and Rel. Why that remind me of Kenan and Kel for some reason? Like I just thought about like the '90s, like Kenan and Kel.
Yeah, we need that Kenan and Kel theme song. Oh man, yeah, I used to watch that because that was Saturday nights.
Yeah, Saturday nights.
Kenan and Kel. Man, that was some good ass days.
Yeah.
But it looked like Dawon had to hop off there. And the funny thing, there we go. Oh, you're back there. Let's see. Ooh, and it's clearer too. So, we might be getting him. Say something, boo.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah. There she is.
Yeah. There she is.
Lord.
Y'all, let me tell y'all need to, while we still got it, go to YouTube and see Dawon's face right now. Let me tell you, one thing about Dawon is his face is going to let you know how he feel.
1,000%.
A man of few words, but a man of many facial expressions, okay? And the right one is displayed right now.
The killer part about it is the internet has been working fine the whole time I've been here. And today, she started acting up. Today. I'm like, God fucking damn it. But, we're going to get through it.
We will make it do what it do, baby. With Dawon, when you hopped off, we're like, uh-oh, we got the Christmas episode again.
More like the Chinese New Year episode.
Baby, that was so funny. I wish we had all the behind the scenes on that, but I ain't gonna do it to him. I got rid of it. But baby, she was hot.
Look, and the way that Rel and I were just in tears laughing the whole entire time. It was oof.
This is gonna be a fucking nightmare.
It looked like he froze again. So yeah, it might be the Christmas episode again, y'all. So bear with us. It is what it is. But and the funny thing, the first thing on the list this week was like, how's Bali? It was okay till today. It sounds
until today. Look, Bali is great. Doing this in Bali ain't it. Okay,
ain't it.
Look, I could just hear it now.
So anyway, community, hopefully you're doing well. So like we're in the thick of January now. So
yeah.
So the new year, all the holiday stuff is MLK Day today. So hopefully you had it off of work.
Fucking over.
I know I do. So he said, "How is this gonna be on MLK Day? All this bullshit."
They don't got that over there.
Yeah, I guess so.
They said it's a
They say,
regular.
y'all got MLK
Monday.
at home.
Yeah. Like,
oh Lord. But are you doing anything for MLK Day? I know every year you kind of do maybe something a little different.
Today for MLK, I will actually be helping out at the local high school called Garfield, where we often host like a community MLK, like community focused, like business kind of like hall where a lot of companies and different businesses can like shut up shops and booths and stuff like that, and kind of like an expo, one would say, of just local Black owned businesses around the Seattle metro area. So my team will be having a booth there as well. And then I also help with orchestrating, because we always do a march from there to downtown as well. So I'll be helping out with making sure to guide people through for the march as well too. So
Nice.
yeah, I always like being active. I like giving back to the community, because you hear me say all the time, like the first thing you notice is that I'm Black. Then I open up and then you hear the purse, so Black first, purse second. So I always make sure for MLK, I show up for my people and make sure that we just love on each other. So yeah, it feels more, I just feels good. And then like 2 weeks later is Black History Month. So, I'm just invincible at that point, I'm like, because who gonna check me, boo?
Nobody.
Like
nobody. Spring, summer.
Okay.
How
about you?
Yeah, like in Philly, they have the African American Museum here, and they're doing a program on Monday. So I got tickets to that for Corey and I. So I'm excited to go there, because the whole time I've been in Philly, I'm like, I need to get to this museum. And just ain't did it. And so I was like, you know what? I ain't working. Let me get my ass over there. And so I'm excited to see it. And like certain parts of the day, they have this like different curations. Like they're gonna have people kind of like curate the museum and things like that.
Oh, nice.
So I'm excited to see it.
Is it just a solo day event, or is it like an
it might be the whole weekend.
Doing? Okay.
And like I just pulled it up here. Let me see here. MLK celebration. Let's see what it says. Oh, and it's the 50th anniversary of the museum as well. So
that's nice. I love that.
So yeah,
right
it was
on time.
The 17th, 18th, and 19th. So the whole weekend, and then to the Monday here. So let's see. It's called Radical Peace. I know that's right. So yeah, I'm excited to see what that museum is like. Because obviously, like, there's a big one in DC that actually I'm gonna try to get to this weekend as well, or I guess this prior weekend, because they have an HBCU exhibit they just put in for specifically for the MLK weekend too, that I really want to see. And then I still haven't gotten through the entire museum yet. Like, it's so massive and it's just so all encompassing. Yeah, you reach a point where you're just like,
maybe I'm tired.
I ain't got no more.
And I heard about the kitchen I heard about the kitchen in the building too. So I heard the food was good. So so I'm like, I don't know how many people got the itis walking around here looking at all this art. Like,
right. It was the art, but it's even like, it literally starts, and I think we talked about it a couple of years ago, but it literally starts from like Africa and like slavery days and things like that. And they just have like all that. So you go through that. Like, so I did that first before I even got to like maybe the more modern times. And so from the first like 500 years, you're like, baby, this is a lot. It's like, I know we struggle, but just to see this and it's super tangible, like, bitch, ain't this a bitch?
Yeah. I've said this before in the podcast, like, Black History Month was always the hardest time for me in history class, because I just always was just like, I'm getting angry. I'm trying not to like be like, yo, people, it ain't you. It's your ancestors. Still some of y'all today, though. Let's be honest. There's still some of y'all people today, though.
I see how y'all voting now.
But so like, I still don't go to museums for that same reason. But this year, Physics company has given them all passes to museums, all the museums in the state of Washington, and given all their spouses a pass as well too. So now I have access to all the museums. So I want to be better, as y'all were saying on RuPaul, and because I guess I'm seasoned apparently now at the age of 38. I guess I need to be in somebody museum learning something. So
something before you become in the museum,
right?
Because you are the exhibit in the museum.
Okay.
But yeah, like the reason I really like supporting those is just like you see how easy it is for a lot of funding to try to be taken away.
Mm-hmm.
And so if I could show up and make sure, and obviously I know I'm just, one of one, but still show up that these are important and give the foot traffic to these locations, especially for the folks that have put so much time and energy into curating these things. Yeah, I'm gonna show up. And even outside of like the MLK days and the Black History Month, we need to show up year round to ensure folks know the importance of it. We need, like, they trying to take all shit. Nope. It's our history too, ho, in this country. So guess what? It is what it is. So
yeah.
So I'm excited.
I get it. That'll be fun. I can't wait to see and hear about how that goes.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, boo, you made it back. Reluctantly.
Hey, community, I want to be here for y'all. This thing is killing me. This non-internet ass having fucking Wi-Fi router situation. Goddamn Bali rainstorms and bullshit. Beep, 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 beep.
The mosquitoes tearing your ass up and the Wi-Fi up.
Right.
No, the Wi-Fi got me today. Got my ass.
But outside of the Wi-Fi, how is Bali treating you? Like, has it lived up to what you thought Bali would look, feel, sound, smell, and all that?
Say so. I was expecting Bali to be a little bit rustic, and it is. It's a little bit rustic. It's rainy season here, so this part of the world right now, and being
right, Bali said, "Put some respect on my name." But we'll ask you, like, if you can hear us. There we go. It's in and out. If you can hear us,
enjoy your day. It's 9 o'clock in the morning. Go enjoy your day. Good. We will handle this.
Bali
over here.
Is good. Y'all can check the pictures on my IG.
Yeah, exactly.
You ain't getting a color commentary today.
No.
Oh my God.
I love it. So stay as long as you want to, boo. Like, but don't feel pressure because we know it's crunchy for you. We get it. We love you.
Yeah. And it's also like
damn,
9 o'clock in the morning too. So enjoy your day too, girl. But
and we were trying to get Dawon's color commentary for this Golden Globes too. So we'll see if it stays on a little longer. We might get to that. If not, we'll save it for the Oscars.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were just talking about this MLK Day and things like that, and how we're gonna celebrate, and just looking forward to that. So yeah, community, if you're at work, hey, hopefully we're giving you some joy in this MLK Day. If you're off of work and listening to us, hey, turn up for MLK, turn up for the community, and hopefully you're out in these streets celebrating and being happy and joyful, even though this country be trying to not make us happy and joyful.
Right. I do got a question for y'all though. So have y'all been seeing Chili and what's that white boy she dating now?
Matthew Lawrence.
Yeah, Matthew Lawrence. So you've been seeing them lately, like going on some of the daytime shows and talk about their relationship and stuff like that. And it was trending like a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, about them saying that they never argue, and they've been together for like over 3 years at this point. And that kind of hit me in kind of way because I'm like, you never argue, like. Never, because in my mind, if you ain't arguing, you ain't passionate about nothing. Like, and also, you a black woman and you a white man, so there are some differences. Like, everything can't be lined up. Or am I tripping? Like, do y'all argue with y'all partners? Like, because I know y'all saw on Instagram today. Because mine had the audacity to start some shit on Instagram.
He did.
Okay.
He did. I saw that.
Didn't even say nothing to me. He just went straight to Instagram. Okay. And I was like,
asking for advice.
Oh, you ain't said nothing about this. Oh, you didn't even bring it to my attention, y'all. I want y'all to know. The man ain't never said nothing to me. Okay. And he said in his post, he said he'd been like leaving hints and stuff like that, but he never flat out been like, make sure you just open it like this because I don't want to see the fingers on there. Just simply, just be direct. That passive aggressive shit don't work with me. Okay. So then he went passive aggressive on Beyonce's internet. So that's what I did today. So now we beefing on Beyonce's internet.
Now, low key, him calling you dirty though.
right.
That's what I'm gagged about.
No, so
That's what
here's the
I'm gagged
thing.
about.
It's not that. It's because this wintertime and I be lotion, so my hands are moisturized. So it's literally the lotion from my hands that is just on the door. So I'm like, well, what you want me to do?
But that's not what
Huh?
the internet see.
I know.
Right.
And that's the crazy part about it.
Smudges on the, they saw the smudges.
That's
Like, oh, dang.
Thank you. And that's the crazy part about it. I'm like, bitch, I got lotion on my hands. What the fuck you want from me? Like, you got me here doing your dishes, okay, from the food that you eating, and I'm washing my hands, and I need to put some lotion on because now you got me looking out here like you with my hands. Hell no. You're not going to get me caught up. Oh, but you want to go and put that on the internet. Okay. So back to my question. Do y'all argue?
I'm gonna stay out of grown folks' business on that.
But do y'all argue with y'all? Do y'all argue with y'all partners though?
For stupid shit like that, yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Well,
And honestly, though, like, I am not an arguer. Like, I'd rather not argue, quite frankly. Like, especially the older I get, I just want peace in the Middle East. That's all I want in my heart. So little shit like that, I'm like, ugh. But I am also one that's like, if you're going to call me out for some petty little shit, it's going to get to a point where I'm going to call your ass back out for some petty little shit. It probably doesn't really bother me that much.
Mm-hmm.
But since you made this a whole mountain, I'm about to make this a whole mountain right now. You done got my nerves now.
Mm-hmm.
Difference between arguing and having a disagreement, though. Like, arguing to me is disrespectful, yelling and screaming and da-da-da-da-da, carrying on and all that. And I think what they said was they don't argue. They have disagreements that they will talk through and da-da-da-da-da, but they don't argue. And I think there's a very big difference there.
Yeah. No, I don't think we argue that. If that's the definition, I'm trying to think. Like, because we're both luckily we ain't going to call nobody out their name or nothing like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to think. I do remember one that, like, it was borderline. We was both going, and that was some years ago. Other than that, no. But we do have some disagreements, and it's usually over some petty ass shit.
Yeah. We've had a handful of arguments, and you know, y'all know both of us. We are very much very.
Yup.
Both of you like you don't say, huh? Y'all argue.
You sure you want to get married? You sure you want to buy that house? You sure you want to? Just kidding. Lord. Just kidding.
You know, it's sometimes our arguments be like boxing a little bit. You know, we be throwing them jabs. You know, but the thing is, those arguments also like make us be like, damn, okay, I gotta take a step back. You know, it takes a strong person to deal with me, and it takes a strong person to deal with him, and then we match each other in that regards.
Yeah.
So that was just like, well, shit. And now y'all make us seem like we toxic. Like, I love my husband, but damn, like, are we toxic? I'm like, no, I love my man. We good.
Yeah, no, I don't want to argue. I don't want, like, I've never been, because, like, half the time I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Like, why? Like, what's the real, like, what you really upset about?
I know why.
Like,
you put the guards down. That's what it really boils down to. And usually it's not about that thing. It's about, it's the death by 1,000 paper cuts. All the shit, you didn't put your socks away. Why did you get your mail out the mailbox and didn't get mine? And all this little stuff. But then you reach a boiling point like, God damn it.
Bitch, today's the day.
you gonna catch some smoke.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
That's exactly what it is. You true on that. Yeah,
we're not like being disrespectful to each other, but we definitely will. But like, I am not going. But you about to pull me on my character. Let me tell you, this is about to go through here. Walk away. Like, we've gotten good at like knowing that line and like, okay, look, I can't be respectful at this point, so this needs to stop. We can continue this later, and once we get to that point, then we both like, okay, cool, whatever. But
yeah. Like, Corey knows, like, if I get to the
triggers
point of
to your partner.
Oh, go ahead.
What'd you say?
Do you communicate your triggers to your partner? Because there are certain things that just like that just take you over the edge. Do you communicate that to your partner?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I think the difference though between the two of us is because, growing up, being Black and being a Black man, right? We are taught at a younger age on how to handle our emotions with non-Black folks. And so I find myself having a lot more of the moments where when we're in it, I'm the one to recognize where I'm about to go there before he can. He'll cross that line a little bit more than I will. And I'll be like, okay, get back on the other side of the line. Like, I know you don't realize this, so I get it. Let's just bring it down. So I find myself being a little bit of the mediator a lot in our conversations, just because that's something that we are taught to do, right? But yeah, I mean, like, we both know our triggers, and neither one of us are trying to like push those buttons,
purposely, right?
Purposely or anything like that. But it is also one of those things that I don't think I think it's a very human thing to feel some kind of way when someone's telling you like what you're not doing isn't enough, or that you need to do more. And I think anyone will have, I wouldn't fault anyone for having a reaction of being on guard or feeling hurt or feeling less than. But I think it's all about making sure that people remind us, like, hey, it's not that you're not doing enough. It's just like, I'm just asking of more. That's it. What you're doing is great. I appreciate that. Thank you. But I would like a little bit more. Right. Yeah. And I think words matter a lot in conversations.
Yeah. Like Corey's just a 0 to 100.
I've had a couple of disagreements and nothing really big, but I'm glad that we did, because in a new relationship, you really get to learn a lot about, what's it going to be like, And so, one of the things that I share with him is that it is important for me that we can disagree all day long as the point of the conversation is get to a resolution. But if you're and I'm not projecting on him, I'm just saying that that's what he does. Just to be clear, I'm just setting the boundaries of what I like in a relationship with him, with anybody, but more specifically with him. If we're arguing just to argue or disagreeing just for the purpose of disagreeing, like you just want to be right, I'm not doing that. I don't play them games. You about to go over there, or I'm about to go over here. Like we're not doing that. If we're going to disagree, listen, we can say our piece and recognize that we're in a heated moment and recognize that emotions may be a little bit high, and say, you know what, let's take a pause and then come back so that we can resolve it. Like it's the unresolved disagreements for me that become problematic, because it's like you just piling shit on top of shit on top of shit. And I know we've all been in situations and have been instigators of situations that have more been like that than, looking for a resolution.
Do y'all think with y'all disagreements, y'all always come to a resolution, like with every single thing? Or are there times where you're like, it is a agree, disagree, and that's just who you are and this is who I am, and that's just the reality of it?
I think sometimes that's almost the resolution.
Okay, because that's what it is for us as well too. Yeah. I wasn't sure when when Dawon was saying like a solution, meaning like there is an action item to take away, or someone's going to be doing something to better the situation in the future, so that way it doesn't happen again. But sometimes it's not about someone changing, someone doing something less or doing something more. Sometimes it's just about recognizing this is just part of who they are, and whether or not you can accept that. And I think that's where a lot of relationships struggle, is understanding when is it that what you're asking for, that person can't provide you. And so now you need to make the decision. Are you going to be okay with that? Because if not, then you need to then figure out what's next for you then, if that's the case, right? And so that's why I think, again, go for it, baby.
The internet here choppy. I gotta get in when I can. I think there's also a difference when there's a conflict of ideology, what you believe about a situation, because those are things that you really can't. That's core to who they are, and to your point, Jarrell, like those things you might not be able to quote unquote resolve the way that you might want to resolve. And you might just recognize, oh, wait a minute, we approach things very differently. So how can we collectively move differently so that we're being mindful of the other and how my ideology and my thinking impacts the other person in this relationship? And that's tough.
Yeah. I think that's what the line is for me too.
And I think you learn to just like, especially if like you care and love for someone, like even though that shit like bothers the fuck out of you at your core sometimes, realizing that if they love you like they say they do, they're not trying to do something that's going to bother you that deeply, you know, like, and coming to that conclusion is just like, okay, Krill, like, I know he ain't really trying to bother me that hard. Recommunicate like why it's bothering you and things like that, and like we could both, you know, work on it and things like that. But sometimes you just feel like, no, ho, you trying to do that to get on my fucking nerves, and that's pissing me the fuck off. And it's rarely really that.
Yeah,
you know?
it's rarely intentional, like they're trying to do it purposely to like try to get a reaction out of you. Yeah, no, I feel like some
that's
days
what I
gotta
gotta try to remind myself sometimes. But sometimes I'll be like, you really tried it today. You really tried it. And sometimes it's just like, okay, he wants attention and things like that. Especially with Corey, that is him trying to get attention for, and that's what I realized. I at this point, this many years, that I just know what he's doing. At that point, I'm like, okay, what do you need, hon? Like, what do you need? You know, and then he sees that I see him, and then he calms his ass back down, and then we're good to go. Yeah. Because she's just a 0 to 100. I'm so just not a 0 to 100 human being. So that's definitely just just a core major difference between he and I. And he knows it. I know it. The world knows it. He's once he gets to 100, then once he backs off, then he comes back to like, okay, hold on. This is why I was truly actually upset. But once he revs up, he's out of here. He ain't seeing straight. He ain't thinking straight, like nothing. And so we've had to both learn to me not get him there that quickly, and then for him to realize, I know I'm going to go 0 to 100. So let me get the fuck out of here right quick because I'm going to like say some shit that's going to really make Carell mad. Because it takes me a lot to get there. But once I get there, I ain't shutting up until like you understand the point that I am trying to fucking make today. And I'm going to make sure you hear me. And it is what it is. Now I'll cool back down. So yeah, so it's rare for me to get there, but when I'm there, ho.
She clocked in. She clocked in. She getting overtime, okay?
Baby. Overtime.
Time and a half.
Make up for some years. Oh Lord Jesus! So yeah, community, let us know. Like, how are some of your relationships? Are we just the anomaly, or is that the norm? And it's just shit that people just don't talk about. Like, you get in these relationships and people don't want to put that on Instagram. They don't want to put that on TikTok.
Yeah. That is interesting. I will say also, before we move on, one of the things I love about having the podcast, you know, number one, being with my girls, is too, like, it's really helped me with my communication with a lot of people in my life. Like, because I share so much here, I'm so open. Like, I find myself being a lot more open with other people, and I find myself having a better time communicating how I feel and my thoughts as well too. And I find myself being able to be like, okay, I've learned thanks to y'all. So the world needs to be thanking you too. They don't thank y'all enough, okay? All right, because the world don't get to see Henny, okay? Henny then turned into something else a little bit right now, if I'm being honest, because I've learned to listen to the thoughts and how other people feel because of being on here with you two, you know, like being here with y'all. I've learned to, I can see where Carell's coming from. I can see where Dawon's coming from, and like being able to receive that there are other points of views. And I think that has helped me in my communication, being like, okay, I may not be understanding my partner right now because he has a different perspective. And I need to take some of the things that I've learned from being on this podcast with y'all and apply that as well too, being like, okay, I respect this person. I love this person. So let me listen intently and actively to what he's saying. So
no, I agree with that statement wholeheartedly. Because if you listen to some of them early episodes, we was like, hold on, how you gonna hear me? So
I just love the fact that exactly. I just think that for every single one of us, as we look at this podcast, you know, we've all grown so much, and I think one of the things that I've learned over the last probably 5 to 10 years is my emotional state does not produce positive results. I can't act out of emotion. I can't make decisions when I'm emotionally heightened. I can't communicate effectively, concisely, and nicely when I'm emotionally heightened. So, you know, I got to recognize, okay, am I in a space where I can even, you know, where this is even productive, you know?
Yeah, yeah. And that's cool to say that though, because not a lot of people become aware of themselves enough to admit that, be vulnerable enough even with yourself to admit that they're like, damn, hold on. I might be contributing to some of this craziness out here. And then to be willing to be like, oh, okay, then let me change it a little bit as best as I can. Let me acknowledge it. Let me cool my ass down, So that's very cool to hear that, to be that self-aware, because not everybody's that self-aware.
I was just gonna say, and here my ass wasn't emotional enough. I had to learn how to gain a couple of emotionals. I was on the other end of the spectrum.
She's put all the energy into 3 emotions.
Right.
She's learned to redistribute her resources to a couple of other ones.
Nah, I look. The truth is, I've been lying. I've been dragging. I've been putting those same emotions in drag. That's the real tea, okay? They the same three emotions. I just said, turn the wig around. That's it.
That's it. Turn this kitty cat wig around. I know that's right. And speaking of drag, by the way, community, if you didn't know, it is drag race season, from now to damn near midsummer. And so if you're looking throughout the episodes and saying, hold on, I thought they used to recap drag race and all that. We do. It's on YouTube as a separate entity, so we could get the episodes out there earlier. So if you look out there now, you already see episodes 1 and 2, and we will have episodes 3 probably the next day or two while you're looking out there. So be on the lookout for that. Recapping all this season. It's already a good season so far. So check out episodes 1 and 2 that's already out there, and let us know who some of your front runners and all that good stuff. But one thing we definitely need to talk about, and it was crazy that last episode, how we just talked about Jasmine just because we stand Jasmine and excited about her run. But literally the day after we recorded, all hell broke loose out in the interwebs because Matt Rogers and Bowen over here telling people not to donate to Jasmine and don't support her campaign because she ain't gonna win and all this stuff. And they fucked around and found out that you can't be talking about us that way. Like, what the fuck is you? Like, who the fuck is you? We don't care how popular and celebrity you are. Hold the fuck up. Who are you? So, how y'all feeling about these conversations that they had?
Let me. I'm not even shocked in the least bit. Like, we see white gays or those who chase the white gayness all the time talk out the side of the side of their necks like this all the time, and the fact that you have the audacity to be like, because a gay white man couldn't do it, a black woman couldn't do it, bitch. Half the shit that come out your motherfucking mouth, you get from what a black woman is every day, 24/7, 365, a motherfucking year. Amen. Right? That platform that you have is built of you acting like a black woman, bitch. So the fact that you have the nerve, the gall to be like, oh, a gay white man, Pete, couldn't do it. So now, no, absolutely not. And actually, no, I got my piece wrong because it was Peter or Peter Oric or whatever his name. Warwick, yeah. Beto. So still, yeah. But still, another white man nonetheless, okay? This is not the time to be having that rhetoric. With everything going out with ICE right now, back in and my home of Minneapolis and Minnesota, and seeing all that shit going out there, you are really trying to split votes by saying, don't vote for a black woman who has the fucking resume of being over there already in Congress. Like, and you go to this new person who you don't even know. That's the other thing. You don't know nothing about this man, but you said don't go to the black woman who got a resume, right, who you actually could know and learn things on. Oh, but you're basing her resume on what a white man couldn't do. Shut the fuck up.
It's wild how, at least to me, how we were talking about like self-aware earlier, how a lot of white gays are so not self-aware to get them in these kind of predicaments. And that he was honestly he thought he was doing something kind of nice, and the privilege of that showing up every damn time of just like, are you fucking wild? Like, what? Like, how did you think even saying that? Even if you thought it, putting that on your platform on this successful of a podcast, you thought that was okay? Like, that is so wild to me. So it's always interesting to me that a lot of these just privileged white people, and then it trickles down to the white privileged gays, just think it's okay to just say shit like that. It's and like you said, it's like it's not surprising, but it's still surprising at the same time. That it's just like I don't know. I just don't get how that thought even just comes out and you think that's fine. And maybe it's the privilege. You get away with it every damn time, so you thought you're going to get away with it again. I don't know.
And that's it. I bet you it wasn't the first time he just said some shit like that. And that's the thing that gets me. Like, if he could say that on that huge of a platform, you know he done said some other stuff behind it. And that breaks my heart because I thought he was one of the white guys who understood, who got it. You know? Like I just genuinely thought that. But then I'm just like, no, you just like the rest of them. Like,
and especially with that,
he was probably on that boat that sank during fucking COVID. I bet you he was on that boat that sank during COVID.
He was on Atlantis.
That's what it's given. It's very much given.
Atlantis season again.
it's given very much that. I bet you his ass was up on that boat.
Because even after the backlash, there was no real apology. The comment that he made on his Instagram was, there was bad phrasing. Okay.
You didn't learn.
About being a bad, it's not, we've all had that moment where, you know, we said the wrong thing at the wrong time. It came out the wrong way or whatever, you know, but given the fact that you have such a huge platform, the responsibility is on you to be accountable for the words that you use. And if you phrase it wrong, in my opinion, the way that you correct it is not just with an apology, it's with you actually donating money to her campaign. Like, do that. Do that. Like, no more black squares, no more, you know, kind of like performative this, that, and the other. And I think that's one of the things that I'm loving about how they're being dragged still, both Bowen and Odu. Like, I love the fact that they're calling for accountability. Because I think what we've learned with this situation is that this is more of a call to action for what genuine allyship is supposed to look like. You know, using the words, this is a cop-out, is absolving yourself of the responsibility. Because you've basically used this rhetoric for more likes, more clout, more attention, more this, more views. You're now making money off of the fact that you're trying to promote defunding the campaign of a qualified candidate in the great state of Texas.
Yeah. To think that she's not capable of winning is it. He just didn't even give like facts. Like, he was just stating shit. And that's a weird thing too. I was just like, what you're saying is not making sense to me. Like, because you're not saying because she didn't vote for this record or she didn't do this for her community and things like that. Like, there wasn't anything tangible. It was that she was maybe too black for you. Like, she was too well known. Like, that's where Beto O'Rourke was super known. Like, people were wearing Beto hat. Like, so that's a mute point. So, like, what is it? She just made you feel uncomfortable? What is that? What it is? Like, you know. And it's just trying to veil it in this, that she's too known kind of thing. Like, it's stupid. So again, it's just like to take your platform and even for Bowen to not say anything. And that's what happens when you try to be adjacent to some of this stuff, that you realize you ain't got the same privilege, homeboy. And you're going to learn real soon. You don't left SNL. And then now I'm sure your podcast's hurting literally a week or two later. You don't learn a tough lesson. So I hope you sit down and say, okay, even if you didn't agree with them or didn't know what to say in the moment, you can still got to chime in, be like, I don't know if I agree with that. Like, that's your opinion, like whatever it may be. You need to stop in the moment when you're seeing some shit like this, because you are not going to get the same privilege as him at all, at all. And now you done got yourself looped into this crazy shit too.
Yeah. I just don't get it. I really don't get it.
We in the twilight zone, y'all. We are in the fucking.
It's just so far removed from like the reality. I'm just like, why? Like, it is bad out there, and that's what you say. Like, this is what you do. I just don't. Yeah, I don't know.
Was this? I'm just trying to understand the motivation, because ain't nobody coming to y'all for political advice, first and foremost. So for this to be a topic that he thought of to bring onto the podcast, it wasn't like he was having a conversation with a political pundit and just, and as part of that conversation, oh, maybe da 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 da. So you literally thought in your head, I'm going to make this kind of correlation and bring this out. Like, to me, it just seemed so left field. I don't know. Maybe he's drinking the Nicki Minaj juice. Maybe we have been bamboozled
Something in
the
the
whole time,
Kool-Aid, baby.
and all of a sudden he did got the conservative party then got to him too.
Yeah,
I guess.
We've had plenty of conversations, and don't get me wrong, like, I'm not saying all white gays are like this, because there are plenty of white gays that listen to this podcast that I rock with and that I know are down and they know what's up. Okay, all right, but I know that a platform such as his hits a more targeted white gay audience that I know plenty who think very similar to him. And I know plenty of white gays who are okay with being silent. And I think this was, to me, this would have came off as a white gay who may not use their platform to say much besides the haha kiki, pop culture stuff, and then took the chance to go outside of what they normally talk about and didn't take the time to do their research because they don't spend enough time actually giving a damn outside of what they actually do.
Stick to Drag Race, boo.
Wait, say that again?
Stick to Drag Race.
Turn your wig back around.
Get out of grown folks' business, because don't let us target you. Don't let us treat you like Target, because it will happen. And you're starting to see. This is the FAFO year.
They double dutching.
No, I'm going opposite of y'all. I need the white gays to actually do more and say more. Like, and we see it when it comes to our trans family. They are, of the queer community, they are the quietest of everybody. Okay, so as much as I want the ship to sink, I need the ship to float, because I know that they will be able to hit a target audience that my black ass would never be able to. But I want them to do it, and I need them to do it the correct way. So we just need
to approve the transcript. Hold on, let us write the transcript right quick for y'all. Let us sign off on it first, and then y'all go say the shit, because I don't know if I can trust them with all the verbiage.
As a rule of thumb, stay out of black people business. You can talk about anybody else. Leave our people out your mouth.
Well said.
Now I'm gonna disagree. Again, they need to be hyping Jasmine up. So no, I want them to be saying the right things about Jasmine, not the wrong shit about Jasmine.
Donate some dollars. How about
if you don't got the words, exactly, donate. Don't take the money away. Yeah,
write some postcards.
That's what I do.
Like, drive Brandon to the voting booth.
We need Texas to do what they need to do. So whatever that gets white people to do what they need to do, then I'm gonna say, yeah, white people, say what you need to do, but do it correct, do it right.
Let us sign off.
Don't go silent. I don't need white people to be silent. They've been silent enough. The last thing I want to do is tell white people to be silent. That's what they normally do.
Oh Lord, it's like you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. We tell them to speak up, and then you say some bullshit like this.
They got the same internet I got.
Just leave us alone. Just leave us the fuck alone.
They got the same internet I got. It ain't the Bali Internet, so they'll get a connection. They'll be able to learn a thing or two. Right. So it's out there. If I can learn it, they can learn it. Just don't go to Bali, because they won't get no internet. So
that part. Lord. And then I know you quickly will, like, maybe not dwell too much of it, but I know you kind of referenced like the shootings, like obviously the shooting by ICE of Keith Porter and Renee Good. Like, I try to find, at least for the stories and things like that on our socials, finding sites and ways to, if you're in a situation, how to handle it. If you know an immigrant that needs help, who to talk to, what's the talking points, what are the lawyer things, blah, blah, blah. So if you see a lot of that out there, community, keep sending it in our way. We'll keep posting it, because we just need to build up our knowledge, because we're in like all unprecedented times, at least for this country. And so we got to look out for our neighbors. We got to look out for our communities, because this shit is wild. Yeah. Wild.
The law
And the
doesn't
second
matter.
you think it's not going to be your community, it becomes your community. So
Yeah. Right now, the law doesn't matter. I've literally seen personal friends, and I've seen their videos, and I've watched neighbors. I've seen friends and neighborhoods where ICE has literally like knocked on their door. They're at their jobs, like, and this is not random videos. I'm talking about like actual people that I know and family that I know who are literally in real time recording interactions with ICE. And again, they're not showing warrants. They're not giving a damn about, you know, their a citizen's right to not allow someone to come into their homes if they don't have the right type of warrant. They are literally knocking down people's doors, barging into people's homes, and dragging people out. The high school that they actually were tossing those kids, that was my high school. I graduated from class of 2006 at Roosevelt High School. That was my fucking high school. I know the population of the kids there. The white people were the minorities at that high school. That is the most diverse high school in that fucking city. And they went there because they know the demographic of how many Somalians or Ethiopian or Latin populations of kids that go to that school that then would lead them back to their homes. And that's the reason why they were there terrorizing my former high school. And so I want people to wake up. And that's why I was circling back to, again, you know, telling white people not to be quiet. I'm not telling not a single motherfucker at this point to be quiet. You have to speak up, but you got to do it correctly. And as far as the rules, at this point, ain't no goddamn rules. They are out there doing what they want to, and they don't have the right. We need everybody who is in Congress right now to undo what Trump has allowed to happen. This is not constitutional at all whatsoever. This is not what we have. They are taking our rights away. So at this point, like Carell said, we're all neighbors. We got to set a lot of shit aside. I know at the top of the hour, we're talking about differences and all the rest of that stuff, but right now we really need to come together. Part of the reason why they trying to deport so many people, guess what? There's less people to band together to stand against them the more that they deport people out of here. It is a numbers game. Y'all really need to wake up. You
especially
gotta
in this
wake
year of
up.
2026, they want people scared to not even be able to show up to vote because
Exactly.
they're scared that ICE is going to be there to intimidate them or to take them away and things like that. So know the game that they're playing and play this shit back. Like,
you got 16,000 people canceling their tickets and flights to come here for the World Series. Like,
yeah, World Cup.
I mean, World Cup, for the World Cup. I mean, people from outside the world from outside the U.S. are watching this and like, I don't want to do anything with that shit. Like,
I don't blame
this
them.
is affecting the world at this point, and we got
Which
to do
affects
better.
the economy if you care so much for the economy. Like I always try to think, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, if you cared so much about the economy before, why y'all quiet now when he's fucking up everything that's fucking up the economy? So it really wasn't the economy. You really like this shit. So fuck out of here. Like, but for those that really still care about their livelihoods, their economies, and their neighbors and the diversity of their name, speak up, do some shit. Like, do something.
Yeah.
Because being scared is just giving them the free reign because they know we're scared. We need some attention, never scared ho. Like, come on now, bone crusher shit. Get together. Like, this is wild. And I need them to be busted if they truly. I know what the narrative is, but if it's really true that they want to get rid of other people, I need them bust down some of these Catholic high schools who would send some people back to Norway, back to Finland, back to Denmark, back to Canada, back to Australia, back to what's another white ass place like
South Africa, even
South Africa,
as
all
well.
of them.
Yeah.
Like, send them back to those places too if we're caring about immigrants so fucking bad. Bust these Catholic high schools down too, ho. Sorry, you done got me riled up.
But it's true. It's true. We see the reason, and here's the other thing too. If you're someone who understands that this is not just, that this is not right, you got to make sure that if anyone's orbiting around you, that you make sure that they know that this isn't right as well too, and that they're doing something about it as well too. We can't be silent. We cannot be silent. We can't.
What's the rest of the world say? Like, you're in Bali, Dawon. Like, obviously you have like the social media, so it's going to be the same. But like, are people there saying, "Oh, you're American," and talking about it, or they're like, "Oh, we don't even feel like talking to y'all right now"?
conversation here.
It hasn't been brought up in conversation. Got it. Yeah.
Just eating, drinking, doing yoga, going on retreats. Like,
Yeah. It's like shit. We there to digress from all this shit.
yeah. What I will say is that the overall sentiment is there are people that just they're not fucking with the U.S. right now.
Yeah.
They have no desire to come here. There was a time where being in the U.S. was aspirational, either for a vacation or to live or whatever. And over the last, well, we've all seen it, these several years, that desire, that viewing of the U.S. as aspirational, as a place to go and a place to spend your time and your dollars and all that has just completely waned.
Yeah. This shit is tiring. It is so fucking tiring. And again, like I've done a good job. Like I get it where I get it, but like I've literally blocked so many of just like keywords on my like social because like it's become so encompassing. Like I still obviously know what's going on. Like I'm very hyper aware of that, but I've had to like literally like ban words in my social just to like give a moment of peace. And then like sit next to me, I hear my husband, so I get it real time because he the same way he could be 0 to 100 about just like other stuff, he's 0 to 100 on that, which is good. I'm like, use that 0 to 100 that way, because he will tell a person off in a heartbeat. I'm like, yeah, use that spirit in that regard, boo. That's how you do it. But yeah, protect your peace, but protect your neighbors. Just do the best you can. I know, and I feel like we're probably preaching to the choir that be listening to our podcast at least. But if it's the onesie twosies that don't found us and trying to figure out what this podcast is about, you just heard it, ho. Speak up, speak out, and protect your communities from these folks. And it's wild to live literally in a time that will be reading in history books in 20, 30 years. And hopefully we come out of this in a better place and be like, okay, we don't fucked up big time. Get these people out of here and start writing down these names of people that have been silent or helping out so we remember in 20 years. Please write your little notebook so that them hoes say, oh, we didn't do that. No, ho, I see your name right here on January 14th, 2026. You did XYZ, ho. Nope, I remember. Take some pictures.
Well, y'all saw they've been trying to kill the story, but 430 ICE agents' informations were leaked.
Good.
Yeah, they're like their names.
Nearly 4,000.
Was it 4,000?
I think it was 4,000. Yeah, 4,500 employees from ICE were dropped. Yeah. And shout out to Dominic Skinner who did all that. Dropped their names out there. So
absolutely, that's a real
we need
one.
More of that.
More of that. Absolutely. Absolutely.
If you over here stealing my email address or trying to steal my Instagram login, shit, steal they shit.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out, like, you got these people driving around in these cars and dressed up with masks over their faces, and they're not identifying themselves. You ask them their names, and they'll give you 3 little letters and whatnot. Like, we need y'all little internet warriors to get out there and expose these people for who they are.
Let's see here. So I know it's the Golden Globes. Maybe we don't talk about the Golden Globes. We'll save it for the Oscars. There really weren't that many standout like outfits. Really, like even like our homeboy Colman kind of like dialed it down.
Let me be the judge of that.
Okay, here. Okay. Yeah, let's see here.
The internet is strong now.
Right. He said, "I'm in here, ho." All right. Well, then let's see here. So the Golden Globes are here. Let's start with Michael B. Jordan here.
I haven't watched the Golden Globes, so I haven't seen hardly any of these. So we'll see what we got.
So what we think about, I don't know who he's wearing. I couldn't find who he's wearing, but it's Michael B. Jordan. It's pretty much a double-breasted suit.
I don't like it. And I don't like it just because it's just boring. It's just boring. Like, I don't know. Maybe he was going for the simple look. I mean, it's clean. Like, it's clean. It fits well, but he too fine to be dressed so simple. Like, a man that beautiful, you can push the limits. Like, you can really push the limits and get away with a lot of shit. And I don't think anyone styling him this simple understands the luxury he has to be so beautiful and to be so built.
Especially like when you're nominated, like you're nominated for the top prize. So this is the season to show up, show out, and just be like, hey, I'm in this. I'm feeling myself. And I agree. It felt very subdued based on the hype that's around him for Sinners and things like that. Like, I don't know. This seems like a year that you're not nominated outfit versus the year where you're like nominated for Best Actor.
I was going to say, I don't think he want to win.
Maybe he knew already. He was like, I ain't drinking for this shit. God damn it.
Maybe he's like, I ain't giving my best outfit. Like how you be saving your best outfit for like the real things you really. He's like, no, they ain't even worthy for this outfit.
What's crazy is the Golden Globes is like the fun award. So this is the opportunity where you can just kind of like let yourself go and just have a little bit more fun. And there's very much to talk about this. I will say that like you still see that physique through that suit though.
Yeah, you see
the body is body.
Fine is peeking through. It's like you gonna be fine. He's
he
like,
got some
one thing he gonna be
beautiful
be fine.
trapezoids.
Oh, baby. All right, we're gonna go with our homegirl, the winner, Miss Tiana Taylor, and she's in Schiaparelli.
I mean, she looks good. I mean, the body is bodying. Like I like the makeup. I love the hair as well too. Like it allows for the dress to have its own moment. My only critique is I feel like I expect this from her. That's the only thing. I don't think she took a chance or anything with this. It just feels very safe, very what I expect of Tiana. But gorgeous, like, and congrats on winning as well too. Like, she's come a long way since My Sweet 16 on MTV and that damn bike that she got for her birthday. Okay, so yeah, she looked good, but I wanted to see. I don't know. I just know she's just such a creative person. This doesn't scream like that level of creativity that I know she is. So, yeah.
That Anita Baker wig though.
I don't think it's a wig. I think it is her hair. Actually,
that's her hair.
She had chopped it. Yeah.
Just don't like the style of it.
And we fell right into the trap, Jarrell. Right into the trap. Not the Anita Baker wig. Damn.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. Like, I agree. Like, I think it. Like, I think if she wore it in a color, we would be thinking differently. And it's so weird. Everyone was wearing black and white the entire evening, like everybody. So I don't know if they had like a dress code this year saying you need to wear black and white. 90% of the people showed up in black and white. And the thing is, like, let me show you the back here, Dawon, as well. She said, like, the party in the back. So the back was kind of like a low cut, and it was almost like the bow covered up the butt crack.
Now the booty
I don't
is
like that part.
Oh, the booty. Oh,
this is like, when you talk about somebody got a shelf booty, that's what a shelf booty look like.
Baby, we've known that since that Faded video for Kanye. Okay,
baby.
But the first time we saw that ass in Faded, I said,
"Oh,
well, shit."
That little diamond bow is literally horizontal. It's just like.
You see it. That's what that is. That's the you see it. Yeah. So, okay. Let's see here. Let's go to Mr. Miles Catton. And he's the one that played the young guy in Sinners here. And again, same color scheme as Michael B. Jordan. This kind of like dark brown, chocolate brown. Again, like to be nominated, it feels very safe.
Yeah.
I feel like this is kind of like giving a nod to like a zoot suit in a way,
with the
like
pinstripe.
Yeah, the length of the jacket, the pinstripeness, the fact that it's double breasted, you've got a boot cut on the pant. I feel like this is giving kind of a nod, but again, it's just, again, not much to talk about. It's a little underwhelming. The color choice is not really great and flattering on him. It just it's not a lot you can say about that. Glad he showed up.
I don't hate it. Again, it just doesn't do too much for me. But, you know, I mean, he looks good. I mean, Michael B. Jordan looked good in his. He looks good in this one as well, too. I don't know. Maybe they had a similar stylist or something. Who knows? But
maybe. So then let's go over here to Damson Idris. If you're going to wear black or, you know, a darker color like this, at least maybe the 3-piece suit kind of switch it up. I think he looks super dapper. Super dapper. Again, I wish there's maybe a different color. But if you're going to go all black, at least show up like this. And I feel like whoever styled him did it right. This is something maybe Michael B. Jordan should have been wearing.
And it's fitted and tailored to the proportions of his body. Like, you can see at the ankles, like, it cuts off right at the top of the shoes. Like, you can tell that this was very intentional. This wasn't a last minute thing as well, too. And goddamn, he a fine motherfucker. Goddamn.
Shit. He is fine as shit.
You know, he's giving me that Kelly Rowland glow and that beautiful, just chocolate. Yeah, baby. I'm like,
Nesquik. That's what I call him. Nesquik.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since I've seen a 3-piece suit. It's kind of giving prom to me. Like I can't avoid seeing
not
that
in a
now
good way.
That I'm looking. I mean, how was your prom look?
My prom look didn't look like this. I can say that much.
That part, mine was over baggy size menswear.
Right.
Men's
what
Warehouse.
Was y'all was at when y'all looked like this?
2000.
And it was fitted this way.
Right. You know that wasn't the style back then. The style was not this tailored.
Nah.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord. Okay. Well, then let's see
next?
here. Let's see our homeboy, Mr. Colman Domingo.
Yes.
I love this photo of him. Like, he looks gorgeous. He looks yummy. And again, the right length for the pants, you know, like, it's looking at the shoe, it was very intentional. Like, it's literally on the floor, like right at the end of his shoe, like where his heel is. So it's not necessarily dragging as well too. And honestly, for his height, like, it looks good. But again, it's not something like, ooh, wow, this is groundbreaking, because we know this man looked good in colors. He looks great in colors. But, you know.
And again, this is like the 4th, 5th time we've seen either black or like a dark color again. Everybody in black. And I don't understand why.
Somebody died. I don't know.
Him and I do appreciate seeing him in this kind of a look, because we've seen him in so many other kind of like very flamboyant colors and silhouettes, which all look amazing, and he carries them all so well. This feels more subdued. You can even look at, you know, his hands and his wrists and see that he's less adorned with jewelry, because usually he's jeweled up, and so just feels a little bit more somber in a way, but still sophisticated.
And I did see an interview with him. He said that, like, he still wanted to kind of show, like, you know, his normal fashion sense, but he's like, I wasn't nominated tonight. I didn't want to steal the light. I didn't want my light to steal someone else's light. So he's like, I'm gonna still kind of give you what I needed, but I know how to step back when I need to step back. And so that's kind of cool. So this is like, that's why I was almost saying like the Michael B. Jordan. Right, you know, it's like, I know my light could be too bright sometimes, so let me step back here right quick. Yeah, I'll be back though.
No, we all sang that song at church. This little light of mine, hey, I'm gonna let it shine.
Ho,
okay, child, please.
I'm with you. Yeah. Like, hey, you step y'all game up then. Shit. Let's go with, this is one that I actually, again, is in darker colors, but if you're going to do a darker color, I felt like this was one that was very interesting. Chase Infinity from what's the one battle after another.
Yeah.
I like this one. This was one of my favorites of the night, quite frankly.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, the girl got body. I love how, like, just up here and the clavicle and the shoulder, like, it just I don't know, it's gorgeous. It's really gorgeous. She looks good. I think I would have loved the hair to be maybe just a little bit more slick, like, and like together. But On that, no, this is gore. How does she sit down? I want to see the back.
I don't know.
Because
That's what I was wondering.
you, if she sit down, then it means the top part is literally poking her up here. So, yeah.
And I did see throughout the night she was standing and clapping a lot, so she might have just been standing most of the night at her table, like, bitch, I can't sit down in this.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting silhouette. Very different than what we typically see, just from a construction standpoint, from an architecture standpoint. I love the juxtaposition of the shine on top, and then you have kind of like that velvety, rich deepness of the black on the bottom, and
it's a little draggy.
It does have a little drag aesthetic.
The dress do the talking. It's not over accessorized, with like big jewelry and all that kind of things. You really are letting the dress do the talking for you.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, the makeup's not overdone, because it turns drag when you put the big old bangles and the makeup with it. You're like, bitch, you had to do all that. So yeah, she was probably my best dress of the night, quite frankly. Yeah. Either her or maybe this next person down about the show here. And this is Audrey Nuna and Tom Brown, and she's from the K-pop Demon Hunters.
Yeah.
I thought she ate this up. Ate it up.
There was a reminder to go take the trash out to me, but okay, go off.
She said, let me just put a little bow on that going out to the trash can.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like some expensive ass trash. I will say that. Okay, like it don't look cheap. Okay, I will say that. But I don't know. It don't do anything for me. Yeah.
Okay. Dawon extra call. He's like, I don't know.
I'm trying to take it in because, again, it's an interesting silhouette. To your point, Carell, this kind of like black, somber-y kind of colorway that it feels like people are kind of attending a fashion funeral. I'm just not seeing joy. I'm just not seeing joy and what we've seen so far in terms of colors and fabric choices, and this kind of like cocoon shell with like this white, looks like a white tunic style dress underneath, from what I can tell. It's interesting. Would I want to see it again? No.
Y'all remember those old balloons with the rubber bands when you go like boom, 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 like this?
What? I hate you.
That's what it looked like.
You know what it actually looks like now? Even though I like it, you know what it looks like? Remember those old rubber coin purse?
Yes,
yes. You squeeze them open like that.
Oh, shit.
That's what it looks like.
Just to open them up.
To open them up. That's
there are people listening to that have no idea what we're talking about.
Right, that's a throwback. You used to stick your finger in there, like wave it around because it gets stuck in your finger. Yeah, man, that's what it looked like. But I like it. I was like, is you gonna do something, step out and do something.
It's interesting.
Black and white all night.
Again, as far as like when I mentioned earlier, people pushing the envelope, she pushed the envelope. It is definitely different, and so I give her that. Is it something I like? Not necessarily, but I'm glad it's not boring like some of the other stuff we've seen. So.
Yeah. So the one person that actually did wear color,
baby, she looked good.
Announced her pregnancy.
She looks so good.
Masaku from Sinners. Yeah, she looked great, and she's another where the skin tone is just skin toning.
Yeah, and it's crazy. Someone commented because Haley Steinfeld is also pregnant, and they said not both Smoke and Stack baby mamas being pregnant.
Baby mamas knocked up. Yeah, she looked gorgeous. And I was like, thank you for bringing up the monotony of black and white on this carpet today. Yeah. So when she came on the cover, I was like, thank you. That's refreshing.
Yeah. She looks so good. I like this. Again, have we seen stuff like this before? Absolutely. But again, the way it's styled.
Okay, just a minute. Yes, please. Thank you.
The way it is styled is perfection.
Yeah,
so
I agree. I agree. It's not overdone. Again, they knew the assignment. Let the dress do the talking. She's got the baby bump. Let that do the talking. And everything else is just so elegant and just well. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
All right. One of the men of the hour. We got Connor here, and we're back in black and white here. But here at the rivalry, we're going to the cottage. We're coming to the cottage, and he went to the Golden Globes. And what are we thinking of the outfit?
I want to slap whoever the fuck told him to do his hair like this.
Who straightened his hair?
I do not like this hairstyle on him. He's a beautiful man.
Saint Laurent that told him, I'm gonna be upset with you, Saint Laurent.
He's a beautiful man, but this hairstyle is not it for him.
It's very 2000 boy band. It's very like
it's
NSYNC back in the day.
Yep, it's not here for him. Now, granted, though, I will say this though, I have noticed that a lot more of the younger kids are starting to kind of bring some of those hairstyles back. Okay, but for a man who is in the eye right now, he needs to be styled to the 10s 24/7, not trying to be on the trends of the young people right now, because the young people trends ain't it for a carpet like this. If he wore this on like the Tonight Show that he went on, was it the Tonight Show or
was that late night?
Yeah, late night. Yeah, I would get that. But for this carpet, no.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
And then what do you think of Dawon? Did you like it or hated it?
I actually like the tuxedo. I love the width of the lapel on the jacket. I love the length of the jacket. I love the skinny tie, because we don't see that as often anymore. It's giving kind of a rock and roll kind of like vibe. And I don't know what project he's working on. Maybe this is like, a nod to whatever project he's involved with. But I do really appreciate that. I love that tuxedo pant. It's a really interesting
I love the pant.
Width, in terms of the leg opening. It's a wide leg, but it's not an exaggerated wide leg. So I do appreciate that. It feels more kind of like he can go from this to like an MTV Music Awards and not have to change a thing to me. So I do appreciate that.
He's looking like Rob Thomas from 1998. But other than that, like, I agree. Like, for this event, I don't know. Yeah. Well, I agree. Like, somewhere else, like a late night show would have worked. I just put him in color, put him in some flowy, something. I don't know. It was fine. I would wear the pant, but it's the Golden Globes. So obviously they're probably going to be at every award show this season. Hopefully they kind of give some varied looks the rest of the award season here. And then we'll go with his lover, Hudson here. What are we thinking about his look? As he's shagging and bagging and jerking to Gail.
I like the other outfit better, to be honest with you. I mean, there's nothing wrong with this one, really. Yeah. It's just, I'm not really crazy about, how loose and flowy that shirt is with that kind of flat cummerbund. And then you've got the white jacket. It's like, it's kind of like taking it's like a softer take on kind of a tuxedo, and with using color blocking, but it doesn't really say that much. Again, it just based on these pictures alone, I'm just like yawning.
It was the whole night. It was
this color palette. Not a good choice.
Every single person.
Yeah.
We'll do maybe two or three more. We will go to this person, another person that broke up the monotony of the color. At least.
I love
what you think about Miss Jennifer Lopez.
I'm just like, this person. We all know what this ain't J-Lo, bitch. That's crazy.
This is a Jennifer beautiful. Beautiful gown. One thing J-Lo is going to do is she's gonna wear something that's going to accentuate her body, and she's going to do it well. I'll give her that. Like, I love from head to toe. It just feels like it's a Rocha Ferrer. What are those candies that are wrapped in gold? Like, that's what she feels like to me. Is Ferrer that I love the high neck of this. I love the placement of the lace, and the fact that the lace was placed in a way that's not necessarily symmetrical, but it's very complementary. I love the kind of like trumpet style dress and the volume at the bottom. You can't even see her shoes. I love her makeup and her hair, and pulled back into that That French roll, I'm assuming, is a French roll in the back, and all of that bronzing on the cheek and around the temples and forehead just really looks fantastic.
Jarrell?
Yeah.
This person.
Look, this person knows how to work her body, and she is always styled to perfection when it comes to her body. So this is something that I just expect from J-Lo. So I think for me, I'm just not as impressed because this is the J-Lo bar. And one thing J-Lo's going to do is going to do the J-Lo bar.
This is vintage. It's vintage Jean Louis Scherer. Am I saying it right? Scherer. So Jean Louis Scherer.
Smithy will tell us.
Jacques Mush.
Miss.
Jaquamus.
From the block. Jaquamus from the block.
I'm just Jaquamus from the block. Love it. And then we will do.
Let's do one more so we can get Dawon out of here because they doubling back.
What do we think about Miss Ariana Grande?
She in pink. So I give her that.
Westwood.
It's nice to see her not in pink for once.
It's nice to not see her bones for once as well.
Ooh, yeah. She had gotten a little tiny, but I like her back in brown
like
hair.
Wearing her more so than she's wearing the dress, though.
I would agree.
It feels
with that.
like a lot of fabric. It feels like there's a lot of fabric here.
Well, there's not a whole lot of her, so
there's it's hard work, but yeah, it's historically she's done a really good job. Her stylist and her team has done a really good job of putting her in things that really accentuate and complement her shape. This one feels a little bit. It feels heavy. Like to me, I'm surprised. I would be surprised if she wasn't like struggling by the end of the night to like just walk, because it feels like this dress is like it's wearing her.
Yeah. No, I agree. Like when I saw it, I was like, it feels a little heavy, a little dated, maybe. And again, it just goes
beautiful. I love the construction of it.
Yeah, for someone else though.
Yeah. Not
and
her
again,
or
it's just like a blackout.
Put this on Leslie Jones. That's who I want to see this dress on. She would be eating that up.
That way, hey, I'm not mad at it. But yeah, for overall, this was a tough Golden Globes this year. It felt like I would say the show was actually entertaining. What's the comedian name? She was funny.
Glazer.
I mean, she's funny outside of her, but like she found that happy medium of being her raunchy, crazy. I'm gonna go for juggler style, with being like, okay, let me tone it down a little bit, but I still need to be funny. She found that happy medium this year. I think this year she was funnier than last year, quite frankly. So
she's a great host. She's a really good option.
Yeah. So I enjoyed it. So we're in the award season. We'll hopefully the fashion get a little better. We'll see how the Oscars and there's the actor awards and all that stuff, how that's coming up. But this one was kind of a little tame night. So we'll see. But anything on your hearts and minds before we get out of here? And community, thanks for bearing with us with the Wi-Fi and everything. We'll, it is what it is.
I guess it just needed to warm up. That's what happened.
I guess so.
It was chugging at the beginning, and now it's like
we got the generator. It's like, damn. Well, community, hopefully you're safe and sound out there. Again, check on your neighbors. Happy MLK Day, and wash your hands, your legs, and your ass. And we will see you next week. Bye.
Bye,
y'all.